Okay, our next project is this cute little box that holds Ghirardelli chocolates and money. I'm going to show you how you can do that. I got this design from Wendy Crawford. Oh my goodness, I forgot her name. Wendy Crawford, I think. Anyway, her box was a little smaller than the tag edges. So I just reworked the numbers a little to have it go all the way to the edge. That's the only difference. And I will send you guys the measurements for this. Yours is already cut for you. And I have prepped for the little blue koala version, but just wanted to show you the lion version. And as you can see, I did put the pom-poms here. And so you could line them up. I think I gave you guys one of each color, but you can put one on the top of your hat. You could line them up like that. Yours will be multicolored if that's how you do it. So let me walk you through this box, how to put it together. I also wanted to just show you what comes with the dies. So most of the pieces are just cutting out your little guys. This lion is meant where you cut his mane and tail separate from his body. That ended up being a lot of work for me to piece together and cut right. So I just stamped my lion and fussy cut him. Just letting you know, as if you're trying to decide whether or not the dies are worth it. They do cut really nice around your parrot and your koala. And this tag is a nice, that's to me the best part of the die kit. I haven't used these yet, but I did see a cute card to try with them. So anyway, that's what the dies come with. And of course you have to have a die cutting machine to be able to use these, but just wanted to show you. And that's how I got these two pieces. And then I added some score lines to make it work. And again, I'll try to send you, I could send you Wendy's video. I don't have a video for this one. I do for my next one. But anyway, you're going to start with, I'll send you measurements. You're going to just cut in from your edges. You have this flap, and if you have a scoring tool with you, or if you happen to have one, I keep one in my little stamping tool kit. But if you don't, you'll be fine. Just go ahead and score on all your lines first. You could just use your hands if you don't have one of these. Okay, I had to stop and go recut this piece because I was doing it wrong the first time. It would have still worked, but I wanted to show you guys the way I would normally do it. So let me score again. Cut in my flaps. Okay, this time I am going to have this flaps come inside here. And this is different than the other box we're making, which is part of why I got confused. And then this is going to go over and cover those so that when you have stuff inside, it's not catching on these little flaps. So that is the reason I'm doing what I did. And I can't remember now. I talked about how I'm using a stronger adhesive than snail. The glue is a very strong adhesive, but you have to wait for it to dry. So I'm using Combo Extreme adhesive, and I'm bringing those onto this side. And before I bring this around, I can see that flap's just sticking over a little. So I'm just trimming it down a little, and then I'm overlapping this. Now you could have put those on the inside. These are thin enough that it's not really going to catch, but I just am used to doing it this way. So if you have tear tape, or sometimes I use the snail just to immediately hold it, then I add like a little extra glue to give the longevity. So the snail catches it right away, so I don't have to sit and hold it still, but then the glue makes it hold over time. So that's an idea of what you can do if you have glue and you don't have a strong tape runner. Okay, so that's how easy that little box is. And usually if I was not covering this with anything, I would make sure that was my front so that you see a smooth line instead of all those edges. But we're covering it anyway, so it's not crucial. I'm going to just put some glue here. Probably didn't need this thick of a layer. I have a new bottle, so it's coming out a little faster than I'm used to. And before I put these on, I'm going to fold them like that, just because. So this will be my front, and it just lays right there. It's flush kind of all the way around. And then I'll do the other side. This time I'll try to not do it quite so thick. And I forgot to fold these beforehand. Whoops. It's okay. I can do it now. It's just easier if you do it beforehand. All right. So there's your little, oh, I slid that around when I was folding it. Okay, that's all right. That's the back anyway. Now to make your little front piece, once again, you have two options. You can stamp your koala right on this little circle so you don't have to cut him out. Or if you want to cut him out, or if you like that dimension, you would stamp him here and then cut him out, which is what I'm gonna do. Okay. My smoky slate ink feels less juicy, so that's why I'm tapping it so many times. And see, when they're clear like that, I like to look through and see that it's covered through that whole image. Don't forget your face, your eyes, or your guy's gonna look funny. Here's my black. And I usually try to line up that nose on this one. I've got to pull it closer to me to see. There we go. And the yellow, I did use my Daffodil Delight finally on this one. On some of my other versions of this, I used Daffodil Delight more, but this time I did a lot more with Mango Melody. See, the daffodil's pretty light, but I want it, it could be because I need to re-ink my ink pad, my stamp pad. I want it to match my ribbon, so I'm gonna keep it light. And I am just fussy cutting because I did not pre-cut this. The one nice thing about the dies is it does give it a little more of a rounded corner versus these pointy corners, but I'll just try to replicate that. I'm going to cover the top with a pom-pom anyway. Okay, so then I would die cut that, which I did ahead of time. It's not great. It's slid over. There's a little more of a wide edge, but I am going to say good enough. The kid that I give this to is not going to notice. He's going to like it no matter what. All right, so let's attach him. I'm calling this koala a him, to this circle, which I just punched that out with a 2-inch circle punch. And then if you don't have these mini dimensionals, you can always cut your big ones in half or use the edges. I use all of it because I use so many dimensionals throughout my stamping course. All right, and then to attach those little pom-poms, let's see what I have in here. My super squeaky chair. I've been using this chair to stamp in for 20 years though, and I love it, and so it's very comfy. Even though it's squeaky, I haven't gotten rid of it. You know, I might use a white this time because it'll be seen through the back. So to do the little pom-pom, I just take a glue dot, which usually you don't touch these because you want them to be ultimately sticky, but I just kind of make it into a smaller blob. Oh, and then just mash my little guy into it. But you could use glue and just sit and wait for it to dry, but that's the speedy version of it. Then you have this little strip here, and now we're getting lots of guys in our background on my other stamping stuff. And that one I'm using Bermuda Bay. Get some of this stuff out of the picture for a minute. And that just fits right on there. I won't go too fast because I need it to work. And if it doesn't, you've got the other side to try. Okay, so now that those pieces are done, we'll bring this back over. You could put more dimensionals if you want. Oh, look, I had cut out a hat. I just didn't know where it was, so that's okay. So there's my koala. And then I'll slip. You can either do 2 chocolates or 1 chocolate and money. Although maybe with this extra room, I guess it depends on how much money. I fit 2 5s and 2 chocolates in 1 pouch. So I don't know if I'm going to leave that money in there though, because I might want it. But now you know it can fit in there. Although if I want to stick it in later, it is kind of a pain to untie everything, but that's okay. So we'll do this first. We'll add our little top tag last. This is going to go on the same way we did that tag on the first card. And so you just wrap that through, but this is where you may not want to tie a knot if you want to open it later to add money or anything to it. So this time around, I'm not going to make it a knot because I know from making this before, I kept opening and untying it to try to stick stuff in. Okay, and you can make that shorter. And then the last little finishing touch is this Let's Celebrate You. So add some dimensionals to that. Stick it across the top. And you could tape this closed to keep the shape. But again, because I may stick money in with whoever I give that to, I'm just leaving it kind of loose. But you could put tape at the top to have a nice little shape. So there's your Ghirardelli chocolate pouch.